For 20 years, my value was simple. I paid the bills, I fixed what broke, I showed up. That was enough. Until the day I couldn't provide anymore. And suddenly, I didn't know who I was. My name is David. I'm 48 years old, married to Rachel for 19 years. 2 kids, Jacob, 16, and Sophie, 14. For the last 18 years, I worked at a manufacturing company, operations manager, good salary, benefits, security. I wasn't passionate about it. But that wasn't the point. The point was, I provided. I grew up watching my father work 2 jobs to keep a roof over our heads. He wasn't around much, but he was doing what mattered, taking care of his family. And that's what I learned love was: responsibility. When Rachel and I got married, I made her a promise. I'll take care of everything. You'll never have to worry. And I kept that promise. I worked late, I took on extra shifts, I climbed the ladder, and I was proud of that. I wasn't the dad who played catch every day. I wasn't the husband who remembered anniversaries without a reminder. But I was reliable. I was there when it mattered, financially. And that felt like enough. Until March 14th. The day I got called into a conference room at 2 p.m. My boss, HR, 2 people I'd never seen before. David, we're restructuring. Your position is being eliminated. Just like that, 18 years, gone. They handed me a severance package, 3 months' pay, outplacement services, a box for my desk. It's not personal, they said, but it felt personal. I drove home in silence, pulled into the driveway, sat in the car for 20 minutes, and then I walked inside. Rachel was in the kitchen. You're home early. Yeah, I got laid off. She stopped what she was doing, looked at me. What? They're restructuring. My position's gone. Oh my God, David, I'm so sorry. She hugged me, but all I could think was, what now? Welcome to Good Stories Today, your channel for emotional and inspiring stories. Listen while you drive, work, or simply seek inspiration. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. This is my story. The story of what happened when I couldn't provide anymore, and what I learned about what my family actually needed. Chapter 1. The first week. The first week was okay. It felt like a vacation almost. I slept in for the first time in 18 years. No alarm. No morning rush. I made breakfast for myself, read the newspaper cover to cover, started a list of home projects I'd been putting off, fixed the loose doorknob on the bathroom, organized the garage, cleaned the gutters, applied to a few jobs online, updated my resume, sent some emails to former colleagues. It felt productive. Rachel was supportive. Don't worry, you'll find something. You always do. Yeah, I know. But by the second week, something shifted. The projects ran out. I was still applying, still hopeful. But the responses weren't coming, and the silence was louder than I expected. I'd sit at my laptop for hours, scrolling through job postings. Operations manager, supply chain director, logistics coordinator. All the same roles I'd had before. But the market was different now. Younger candidates, lower salaries, more competition. The job descriptions all asked for skills I didn't have. Advanced data analytics. 6 Sigma certification. Experience with software I'd never heard of. I'd send out 10 applications a day, customize each cover letter, follow up when I could, and hear nothing. Just automated "thank you for your interest" emails. Or worse, silence. Every day I'd check my phone obsessively, refresh my email, check LinkedIn, look for missed calls. Nothing. And each day of nothing felt like confirmation. Nobody wants you. Rachel started working more hours. She was a dental hygienist. Part-time, usually 3 days a week. But now she was picking up extra shifts, 4 days, then 5. Just until you find something, she said. And I appreciated it. I did. But it also felt like failure, because providing was my job, not hers. I was supposed to be the one covering the gap, not creating it. The routine shifted without me noticing. Rachel started waking up early, making breakfast for the kids. I used to do that, before work. It was our thing, but now I slept in. Because what was the point of getting up? She'd leave for work. The kids would leave for school, and I'd be alone in the house, with nothing but time and silence. One night, I was doing the dishes, something I'd never really done before, and Sophie came into the kitchen. "Dad, can you help me with my math homework?" "Sure. Let me finish this." I dried my hands, sat down at the table with her. She showed me the problems, quadratic equations, graphing functions, and I stared at them like they were in a foreign language. I'm not sure I remember this stuff, Soph. It had been 30 years since I'd done algebra. She looked at me, not disappointed, just surprised. "Oh, okay, it's fine. I'm sorry, I used to know this." "It's okay, Dad. I'll ask Mom." And she did. When Rachel got home an hour later, Sophie showed her the same problems, and Rachel sat down and explained it perfectly, step by step, patient, clear. I stood in the doorway, watching, and I felt like a stranger in my own house, because my wife could do what I couldn't, and my daughter didn't even need me to try. Jacob didn't ask me for help at all. He was in his room most of the time, headphones on, gaming, studying, living his life. I'd knock on his door sometimes. "Hey bud, you good?" "Yeah, Dad, I'm good." "Need anything?" "Nope." "Want to grab some food? We could go get burgers." "I already ate. Thanks though." And that was it. A 30-second exchange through a half-open door. He didn't need me for anything, and I couldn't blame him. Why would he? I'd spent 16 years working late, missing games, being too tired to talk, and now that I had time, he'd learned to live without me. By the end of the first month, the severance was running out, and I still hadn't found a job. Not even a callback, not even a phone screen. Rachel sat me down one Sunday evening. "David, we need to talk about money. I know. I picked up as many shifts as I can, but it's not enough to cover everything, not long term. I'll find something. I will. I know you will. I'm not saying you won't. I'm just saying we need to adjust, for now." Adjust, like I was a budget line that needed cutting, like I was an expense we couldn't afford. We sat down with a spreadsheet, went through every expense, every bill, every subscription, canceled the cable, $120 a month, stopped eating out, $300 a month, cut back on groceries, another $200, paused Jacob's travel soccer league, $500 a season. Each decision felt like a small death, because these weren't just numbers, they were pieces of the life I'd built, the life I'd worked for. And now we were dismantling it, one cancellation at a time. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, doing the math in my head. How long until we couldn't make the mortgage? How long until we had to dip into savings? How long until Rachel looked at me and wondered why she married someone who couldn't even keep a job? And I thought, this is it. This is what failure feels like. Chapter 2. The shift at home. By the second month, the house felt different. Not because anything dramatic happened, but because of the small things, the quiet things. One Saturday, the sink started leaking. I'd always fix stuff like that. But this time, before I could even look at it, Jacob was under the sink with a wrench. "Got it, Dad. You know how to do that?" "Yeah, I YouTubed it." And he did, fixed it in 10 minutes. I stood there feeling like I should have done that, like I should have been the one to fix it. But he didn't need me to. Another day, Sophie asked Rachel for advice about a friend's situation. Not me. Rachel. I was sitting right there. But she didn't even look at me. It wasn't mean. It wasn't intentional. It was just automatic. And I realized they'd adjusted to me not working, to me not being the provider, to me just being there. But I hadn't adjusted. I didn't know how to just be there. I didn't know who I was without the work, without the paycheck, without the role. One night, Rachel came home late from work. She looked exhausted. I'd made dinner, something simple, spaghetti. Thanks, she said. She ate quickly, barely looked at me. You okay? I asked. Yeah. Just tired. I know you're working a lot. I'm sorry. She looked at me, and for a moment I saw something I hadn't seen before. Frustration. David, it's not about the hours. What do you mean? It's about, I don't know. You're here, but you're not here. I'm trying to find a job, Rachel. I'm doing everything I can. I know, but it's like you're disappearing. What do you want me to do? She didn't answer, just shook her head and went upstairs. And I sat there, alone at the kitchen table, and thought, maybe she's right. Maybe I am disappearing. Because without the job, without the income, without the role, I don't know who I am. Chapter 3, The Crack. 3 months in, I finally got a call back. A distribution center about 40 minutes away. Operations supervisor position. The pay was 30% less than what I used to make. No benefits for the first 6 months. But it was something. A lifeline. I prepared for that interview like my life depended on it. Because it did. I rehearsed answers, researched the company, wore my best suit, the one that was getting a little tight now because I'd been stress eating for months. Drove to the interview an hour early, sat in the parking lot, practiced my handshake in the rearview mirror, tried to convince myself I was still hireable. The interview went well, I thought. They asked the usual questions. I gave the usual answers. Talked about my experience, my leadership style, my ability to handle pressure, all the things I used to be good at. They seemed interested, nodded a lot, took notes. We'll be in touch within a week. I shook their hands, thanked them, walked to my car feeling something I hadn't felt in months, hope. I called Rachel from the parking lot. How'd it go? Good, really good. I think I have a shot. That's amazing, David. Yeah. They said they'd let me know in a week. I'm proud of you. And for a moment I felt like myself again, like I was capable, like I mattered. But a week turned into 2. I called the company, left a voicemail. Just following up on my interview. No response. I called again a few days later, wanted to check in on the timeline. Nothing. And then, 2 weeks after the interview, I got the email. Thank you for your interest in the operations supervisor position. After careful consideration, we've decided to move forward with another candidate. We wish you the best in your job search. I stared at that email for a long time, read it over and over, looking for something I might have missed, some hint of why, some clue about what I did wrong. But there was nothing, just the polite corporate language of rejection. We've decided to move forward with another candidate. Not you. Someone else. Someone better. And something inside me cracked. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just quietly. Like a bone that breaks cleanly, and you don't even notice until you try to stand. That night, Rachel asked how the interview went. They went with someone else. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Silence. I could feel her looking at me, trying to find the right words. Then she said carefully, David, have you thought about maybe looking outside your field? What do you mean? I don't know. Retail, customer service, administrative work. Just something to bring in income while you keep looking for the right fit. You want me to work retail? I'm not saying it's forever. I'm just saying it might help, financially and mentally, to have something. I have 18 years of management experience, Rachel. I'm not going to work at Target. Why not? Because I'm better than that. The words came out harsher than I meant them. And as soon as I said it, I saw her face change. Not anger. Worse, disappointment. She went quiet, set down her coffee, looked at me like she was seeing someone she didn't recognize. Better than that. I didn't mean it like that. Then how did you mean it? I worked hard to get where I was, and I'm not giving up on that. No one's asking you to give up. I'm asking you to be realistic. We need income. Any income. I'll find something in my field. You've been trying for 3 months. I know how long it's been, Rachel. Then maybe it's time to try something else. I said no. She stood up. Fine, then I don't know what else to tell you. And she walked out. We didn't talk the rest of the night. She went to bed early. I stayed up, scrolling, applying, getting nowhere. And I thought, she's right. I'm being stubborn. I'm being proud. But I couldn't say it. Because admitting she was right felt like admitting I was done, that I'd never be what I used to be. The next day, I was in the garage, sitting on an old stool, staring at the tools I hadn't touched in months. Jacob came out to grab his bike. Hey, Dad. Hey. He looked at me, really looked. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. You sure? You seem, I don't know, off. And that's when it came out, all the fear, all the shame, all the doubt. Do you even need me, Jacob? He stopped, looked confused. What? I'm serious. Do you need me? For anything? Dad, what are you talking about? You fix things yourself. You figure things out. You solve your own problems. You don't ask me for help with anything. Because you're busy, looking for a job. But even when I'm not busy, even when I'm just sitting here, you don't need me. He stood there, bike in hand, looking at his father like he'd just said something insane. Which I had. Dad, of course I need you. But he said it like he was supposed to. Not because he believed it, because that's what you say to your dad when he's falling apart. I turned away, couldn't look at him. Forget it, just go. Dad, go, Jacob. He left. And I stood there, alone in the garage, surrounded by tools I used to use for things that mattered. Tools that built decks and fixed fences and proved I was useful. But now they just hung there, collecting dust, like me. Chapter 4. The conversation. That night, Rachel and I had the fight. Not a screaming fight. Worse, a quiet one. We were in bed. The lights were off. David, we need to talk. About what? About this. About us. What about us? You're pulling away. I'm not pulling away. I'm trying to find a job. You're pulling away from me. From the kids. From everything. What do you want me to do, Rachel? I'm trying. I know you're trying. But it's like, you're so focused on getting back to who you were that you're not seeing what's right in front of you. And what's that? Your family. We're still here, we still need you. For what? Jacob fixes things himself. Sophie goes to you for everything. You're working full-time now. What do you need me for? She sat up, turned on the lamp, looked at me. David, do you really think we only needed you for money? I didn't answer. Do you think that's all you were to us? A paycheck? That's what I was good at. That's what you thought love was. But it's not. Then what is it? She was quiet for a moment. It's showing up. Not just physically, but emotionally. It's being present. It's caring about what's happening in our lives beyond whether the bills are paid. I do care. Do you? Because I can't remember the last time you asked me how I was doing. Really asked, not just as a formality. I looked at her, and I realized she was right. I didn't know how her work was going. I didn't know what she was stressed about. I didn't know if she was okay. Because I'd been so consumed with my own identity crisis that I'd forgotten about hers. I'm sorry, I said quietly. I'm not telling you this to hurt you. I'm telling you because I love you, and I want you back. Not the version of you that worked all the time, but the real you. I don't know who that is anymore. She reached over, took my hand. Then let's figure it out. Together. Chapter 5. The shift. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in months. I asked Rachel how she was doing. Really asked. How are you, with everything? She looked surprised. I'm tired, but okay. Tell me about work. And she did. She told me about a difficult patient, about a coworker who was struggling, about how much she'd been picking up lately. And I listened, really listened, not thinking about my own problems, just being there for her. That afternoon, I knocked on Sophie's door. "Hey, Soph, can I come in?" "Sure." I sat on her bed. "How's school?" "It's fine." "Just fine?" She shrugged. "I don't know. It's school. Anything stressing you out?" She looked at me, like she wasn't sure if I really wanted to know. "Kind of. There's this group project, and I'm stuck with people who don't do anything, so I'm doing all the work. That sucks." "Yeah. You want to talk about it?" And she did. She talked for 20 minutes, about the project, about her frustrations, about feeling like she had to carry everything. And I realized she wasn't just talking about school. She was talking about us, about carrying the weight of this family's anxiety while her dad fell apart. "I'm sorry, Sophie." "For what?" "For not being here, really here." She didn't say anything, but she hugged me, and that felt like something. That night, I found Jacob in his room. "Hey, bud, you got a minute?" "Yeah, what's up?" I sat down. I wanted to apologize for the other day, in the garage. "It's okay, Dad. It's not okay. I put you in a weird position, asked you something I shouldn't have. I just didn't know what to say. I know, and that's on me. But I want you to know, I'm working on it, on being better, on being here. Not just physically, but really here." He nodded. "Okay. And if you ever need me for anything, even if it's just to talk, I'm here. Thanks, Dad." It wasn't some big emotional moment, but it was real, and that felt like a start. Chapter 6. The realization. A few weeks later, I got a job offer, warehouse supervisor, night shift. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was something. Rachel was relieved. "That's great." But I didn't feel great. I felt conflicted, because something had shifted in those weeks. I'd started being present, really present. I'd started asking questions, listening, showing up emotionally. And I realized my family didn't need me to be perfect. They just needed me to be there. I took the job, but I made a decision. This job wouldn't define me. It was what I did, not who I was. The first few months were hard. Night shifts messed with my sleep. The work was physical. My ego took hits. But I kept showing up, at home, at work, for my family. One night, Jacob asked if I could help him with a project. "What kind of project?" "We're building a model for physics. It's supposed to demonstrate kinetic energy." "I don't know much about physics." "That's okay. I just need help building it." And we did. Spent 3 hours in the garage, cutting wood, gluing pieces, figuring it out together. He didn't need me to know everything. He just needed me to show up. Another time, Sophie asked if I could drive her and her friends to the movies. Sure, I drove, listened to them talk and laugh in the back seat. And when I dropped her off, she said, "Thanks, Dad." Not for the ride, but for being there. And Rachel? We started going on walks together. No phones, no distractions, just talking. About everything, about nothing. And slowly we found our way back to each other. Not as the people we were before, but as the people we were becoming. Chapter 7. The redefinition. I still work the night shift. I'm still looking for better opportunities. But I'm not in a rush anymore. Because I've learned something. My value isn't tied to my job title, or my income, or my ability to provide. Don't get me wrong, providing matters. But it's not everything. It's not love. Love is showing up. Love is being present. Love is admitting when you're scared. Love is asking for help. Love is listening. Really listening. Love is staying. Even when you don't have all the answers. For 20 years, I thought being a provider meant I was doing everything right, but I was wrong. I was there, but I wasn't present. I was reliable, but I wasn't connected. I was functional, but I wasn't whole. Losing my job broke me, but it also rebuilt me into someone better. Someone who understands that my family didn't need me to be perfect. They just needed me to be real. Conclusion: what they actually needed. It's been a year now. A year since I lost that job. A year since I thought my life was over. And I'm not going to tell you everything is perfect now. It's not. We still have financial stress. We still have bad days. But we're different. I'm different. Rachel says I'm more present. Sophie says I'm easier to talk to. Jacob says I'm less stressed. And I think they're right, because I'm not trying to be everything anymore. I'm just trying to be something real. So if you're watching this and you've ever measured your worth by what you provide, if you've ever felt like you're only valuable when you're useful, if you've ever lost a job or a role or an identity and felt like you disappeared, I want you to hear this. You are more than what you do. You are more than what you earn. You are more than your ability to fix, provide, or solve. You are a person, and the people who love you don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be there, really there. For years I thought providing was love. Now I know presence is. This is Good Stories Today, your channel for emotional and inspiring stories. If this story resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe. I share stories like this every week, real, honest human stories about identity, purpose, and discovering what really matters. Thanks for listening, and remember, you're more than what you do. See you in the next story.